good, YouTube? Today we got the second part to Erased. The first part was super crazy. The mom died. Well, she got killed, actually. She got murdered. She noticed something about this random guy, and then they decided to kill her. So I honestly don't know much of why she got killed, but we know that she did. And then now the son is getting framed for killing his mom because he got caught by the neighbor. What else had happened? The son also has this ability where he has like he sees a butterfly and then something bad happens, but then he looks around something. Y'all should just watch the first part, I'm not gonna lie. But y'all, super intriguing story. This is a thriller anime. My guy Sensei it's Censayy. He kills these commentaries, I'm not gonna lie. So man, without further ado, y'all, I'm ready. I hope y'all are. Get y'all popcorns, get whatever y'all need, a Fanta, a soda, anything. I'm gonna give y'all a second. All right, let's get right into it.
Revival, the phenomenon in which our main character, Satoru Fujinuma, goes back in time to prevent incidents from occurring. In the last episode, his mom had been brutally offed by this mysterious person who had framed the scene to make it look like Satoru was the one who did it. Satoru had never expected or even wished for a revival to occur, but while he ran for the police out of panic, Satoru wishes for one more chance, one opportunity to make things right. Now, he's gone back 18 years in the past to prevent a series of murders that happened back when he was in the 5th.
So now we're at a part where he's all the way back in the 5th grade due to his ability, which is so, I don't even know how that works. Let's see what they about to do with this story though.
Grade by the same person who killed his mother. Satoru walks in the class, still extremely surprised.
Wait, he said what? To
prevent a series of murders that happened back when he was in the 5th grade by the same person who killed his mother.
Wait, so he's gonna try and prevent all the stuff that has happened? Yo.
Satoru walks in the class, still extremely surprised at the fact that this is actually happening. The date's February 15th, 1988. As the teacher walks in, he tells him to take a seat, but it's been 18 years. He don't even remember where he's supposed to sit at. After walking up to the wrong seat the first time,
so we got the
he
same
sits down
mind
at the
as
only
he
other
did
empty seat, and the teacher starts taking
when
notes.
He was like 20
he can barely believe
29.
the situation he's found himself in. He's in so much shock that he doesn't even realize why he's here or what he's supposed to do. After getting lost in thought, he stands up, with almost everybody already being gone for lunch. His homie's still sitting there reading a book and asks him what's up, what's wrong. He says he got a headache and is gonna go to the nurse's office, but his boy notices that he's bringing his bag with him. A normal trip to the nurse wouldn't really require your backpack, but regardless, he's like, alright, whatever, I'll let the teacher know. Satoru runs down the stairs and puts his shoes on, running back towards his childhood house, screaming for his mom. Remember, last time he seen his mom, she was on the floor.
In his research, Dr. Morrison identified a paradox.
No. I thought I had an ad blocker.
Dead. The first thing he wants to check is if she's still alive and okay, just to be able to see her again. But when he gets there, the door's locked. He remembers that at this time, she would still be at work. She hadn't stopped working yet. He grabs the key that's hidden near the bottom of the door and just walks right in. He starts to remember everything from his childhood just from what he's seeing. The next thing we see is him sleeping on the floor when his mom walks in. Overwhelmed with joy just seeing her, she starts to cook. He's feeling all types of emotions after being what he's been through and is just trying to take everything all in. He's realizing that times like this, simple meals on random nights with his mom, he had never taken them in and really appreciated them. He had never given these times a second thought and realized that these moments wouldn't last forever. Now that he's a little bit more composed, he's sure that this is a revival, a second chance to fix the things that went wrong in his original timeline. He formally thanks his mom for the food, and she could obviously tell that he's acting a little different. I mean, just this morning he was a regular 10-year-old, but now he's got the mind of a 29-year-old.
Oh,
he just doesn't know that. The next morning, he on his way to school. He's wondering if he's got to relive the next 18 years of his life in order to get back to where he originally was. He knows that since this is a revival, he's got to be here to prevent something bad from happening. But is this really where he has to start in order to save his mom? He's pondering all of this inside his head. He doesn't notice anything wrong until he looks over and sees Kayo. If you don't remember from the last episode, Kayo was the first victim of a group of serial kidnapping.
Yeah. If y'all were to see the first episode, the first one, that was a big part of the story. Basically, there were 2 5th graders that were kidnapped by this guy, and he was wrongly accused of kidnapping them. And yeah, so that's one of the victims.
And murders that happened around this time. He's looking at her in class, trying to remember any information about her, but all of a sudden, she reaches for a pencil on the ground, and we can see a big bruise on her leg. During a break, Satoru and his friends are all just chilling when we get some introduction on who they actually are. We got Osamu, Hiro, Kazu, Satoru himself, and Kenya. Even back then, Satoru had always thought that Kenya was particularly smart for his age, and now looking back at it, he still feels the same way.
He probably has the
He's just
same
even more
ability.
sure about it. Out of nowhere, Kenya asks Satoru if he's got a crush on Kayo. This catches him off guard, and Kenya's saying he's just assuming so because he was staring at her all day throughout class. But he also remembers that he was looking at her outside the school this morning too. Kazu stand right up like, damn bro, why you ain't tell us earlier? He automatically takes on the responsibility of setting him up with Kayo. And honestly,
W Wingman in the chat. That boy W Wingman.
he real for that. Cause next
Nah,
thing
for
we
sure.
see, Kayo and Satoru are standing there by themselves. Real quick, I know it's been a minute. I just been out doing stuff, whatever. If y'all want updates, follow me on Instagram. Y'all can DM me. I respond to everybody. Unless you talking
Follow
crazy. Some
Sensei,
people
yeah.
talking crazy. y'all be bold. And
Shout out to
finally,
him for
why
this
am I just not
commentary.
seeing this, bro? 25% of y'all are not subscribed. Wait. 25% of y'all are subscribed. The rest of y'all aren't. like, stop playing, bro. Subscribe. We hitting 50K. We hitting 100K. We hitting 100 mil. Let me check. Kayo and Satoru are standing there by themselves. The first thing she says, "Are you dumb?" He's obviously shocked, but he gets his act together, saying that he thinks they should be friends since they already go the same way home. They live near each other. She's being cold and to herself, asking him what made him think that she even want to be friends in the first place, and he can already tell she's gonna be a pain. Then she continues, "I get it though, because you and I are both the same. We're both fakes." Satoru's trying to figure out what she
She got the ability too. So was he the other 5th grader that got kidnapped? Yo. Oh my goodness. Hold on. This is like a twister,
meant by that,
bruh.
but she continues, saying that she saw him running home screaming out for his mom and asks him if his mom really means that much to him. He agrees, and she's like, okay, starting to leave and walk home already. He's like, hold up, I'm trying to be friends with you. So she stops. Be friends with me? Then I got a question. Would you kill somebody for me? He don't even know how to react. I mean, I wouldn't either. He's thinking of her funeral and the younger version of himself wishing he could have saved her. He's realizing that Kayo is already in a terrible
What in the
situation
world? Hold
even
on.
before she was killed. He's thinking that maybe if he could save her, then it'll be enough to change his future timeline as we see somebody sitting, watching them from afar. The next day at school,
Nah,
he's thinking
what's
about her
going
words,
on, bruh?
"You're a fake, just like me." Obviously, there's no way that she recognizes that he's going back in time and is mentally the 29-year-old version of Satoru. But back in the day, when he actually was 10 years old, he said he would do whatever it took to fit in and make it seem like he was liked by others. So she
Okay.
must have seen through that. And with her
Okay.
saying "just like me" means that she's trying to do the same. The gang's asking him how it went with
I was gonna
Kayo.
say, 'cause
He
there's
explains
no
that they
way
just
she
talked for a
can
little
do
bit,
that.
and being the kids that they are, they're all excited. Like, if you talk to her, then you got a chance with her. Y'all could really do something. Satoru was getting annoyed because he got to deal with a bunch of kids almost 20 years younger than him. But Kenya, being the mature one, once again,
No, that's actually funny because he's a whole 29-year-old talking to 10-year-olds about like crushes and nah, they're probably super annoying. I don't even know if I could do that. Oh my
says that
goodness.
everybody got to calm down, since they might ruin it for Satoru if they rush him and try and make him go too fast. On their way out, Big O,
That dude gotta be another person that has the effect or something. It's him and the girl. That's my assumption. Both of them got the superpower that Saruto has.
Osamu, asks Satoru where his gloves is at, since he just got a fancy new pair not too long ago and he's not wearing them now. Satoru obviously doesn't remember where he put them, but Big O like, "You probably left them at the hideout." Satoru's like, "Well, let's stop at the hideout on the way home then." But everybody stops and stares at him, because just a few days ago, they all agreed to not go to the hideout when it's snowy out because it'll leave footprints, people will be able to find it. Nervously, Satoru's like, yeah, I forgot." But now,
snap.
Kenya's looking at him real suspiciously.
He's
They
on
might
to
not be
him.
able to recognize it, but Kenya, at least out of everybody, realizes that something's going on. When everybody's headed home, Satoru stops Kenya and thanks him for earlier getting everybody off of his back. Kenya's like, yeah, it's no problem, and says that for some reason, he feels like getting close to Kayo is really important to Satoru right now. And if he ever needs to talk to him or any of them, he can. He knows everybody would be willing to help. Satoru, even at his grown age, is shocked at Kenya's perceptiveness, but thanks him anyways, saying that he'll come to them if he ever needs any support. And finally, before heading off, Kenya tells Satoru that he should really read the student anthology sometime, saying that it's quote-unquote pretty interesting. Satoru goes home and starts looking for Kayo's section, because he realizes that's probably what Kenya was referring to. Her story from the school anthology was named The Town with Only Me Erased, and it reads as so. When I grow older, old enough to go wherever I want by myself, I want to go to a faraway country. I want to go to a faraway island. An island with nobody around. I want to go to an island with no sorrow or suffering. An island without adults, children, classmates, teachers, or mom. On that island, I'll climb a tree whenever I want, swim in the ocean whenever I want, and go to sleep whenever I want. On that island, I'll think about the town from which only I've been erased. Kids will go to school, as always. Adults will go to work, as always. And mom will have dinner, as always. When I think about the town from which I've been erased, I feel lighthearted. I want to go far, far away.
Yo, what's this girl's story? This guy is... I'm at a loss for words. What is she? What's going on with this girl? Something had happened. Something, and it's something. It's not something normal. Something. Oh man, wait. Dang, what is going on?
Satoru instantly realizes that her essay was definitely a cry for help. When Satoru's mom gets home, they start having dinner together. While they're eating, he asks his mom if he can have some friends over for a party on his birthday, just 5 people. She's shocked because he's never asked for something like this, but she agrees regardless. His plan is to get close to Kayo and do things that he never did in the past. Doing so should be enough to prevent her death and change the future enough to prevent all of the accidents that occurred to him in his current timeline. Hopefully, he'll be able to save his mom's life.
How does that connect to his mom? That's probably what he's trying to do to see, because he probably doesn't know.
The next day after school, Big O points out that Kayo's already leaving, asking Satoru if he's gonna go with her, and he thanks him going after her. He knows he doesn't have to run or go fast at all, because Kayo's not going home. He knows exactly where she's gonna be at that tree. He suspects that the bruises are from abuse at home from her mother, so she stays at the park as late as she can, and then she'll go home right before bed. Back when he was younger, he had thought Kayo was just a little bit weird, but now he can see and understand what's actually going on. He walks up to her and she asks him why he's here. He responds saying that he wanted to be friends with her, but he can't kill nobody for it. She's like, obviously I was just kidding. Why would I ask you that? Then she brings up
nah, no 5th grader kids about that. I'm not buying it. No 5th grader kids about, can you kill somebody for me? I'm not buying it. I still believe that she has the ability, just like Saruto.
What she meant when she called Satoru a fake. She says she can tell that he's pretending to smile, pretending to care about people, saying that it's hard to see the real him. He agrees, saying that he does want friends. He wants to be liked by people, and when he started trying to like other people back, things just got easier. She responds saying that as long as you pretend to be something, eventually it'll become a part of you, which in itself is not actually too far from the truth. It's the fake it till you make it type of mindset. She's not wrong. Satoru recognizes that she's putting on the act of not caring and not being bothered by what's going on at home, but he knows it's impossible for a child so young to bear everything that she's going through without a care. He hands her an invitation to his birthday party, asking her to come. She asks if he's sure, since there'll probably be a lot of people there, but Satoru is like, I don't know if it's gonna be a lot of people there. Since you're the first one, I decided to invite. You could tell she's never experienced somebody putting this type of effort into a friendship, so it's all completely new to her. He tells her it's on March 2nd as she agrees to come. She points out that Satoru's been a little bit easier to talk to recently, as he says it's because he decided not to lie to her as she goes home. He realizes that it was here 18 years ago
when he had last seen Kayo. Right.
Back then, her body was only found after the season had shifted and all the snow had melted. He's decided that he won't let Kayo be alone. He's set on the fact that if he saves her, he can change the future. With a bit of remembering the old news that he was looking at in the last video, he realized that Kayo hadn't turned 11 years old yet when she went missing. The old newspaper that he was looking at was from March, and he had also known that Kayo's birthday was sometime in March, so the day she went missing was sometime between March 1st and her birthday. He has to figure out when her birthday is so he can know how much time he has to save her. The next day at school, the boys are all competing in pairs against each other in ice hockey races. Hamada is supposed to be the fastest of them all. He's a starter on the ice hockey team that had won the national championship just this year before, and of course, Sadaru's matched up against him. All the girls are cheering for Hamada since he's the clear favorite to win, as they make fun of Kayo, telling her to root Sadaru on because they got a little thing going on. She asks him if he thinks he could win, and he says he'll try his best. The two get ready to start, and Sadaru's locked in, but Hamada's not really taking it seriously. When they start, Sadaru starts out ahead, and Hamada wasn't expecting him to be that quick. His boys are cheering him on, and the girls are saying that he probably jumped the gun and started early, but Kayo's just sitting there impressed. As they're racing, Sadaru's wondering to himself if there's any significance in him winning, if he should win, he should lose, or anything else in order to affect the outcome of this timeline. He remembers that back in the day, he had raced Hamada in this same fashion. He thinks of Hamada and how he trains hard, practices every day, so he thinks that he should be the one to win. At the last second, Sadaru slows down and Hamada wins. All the
Bro, what? Why? What's the thought process? Just win. Why? Because didn't you lose before? And look at the timeline, how it ended up. Why not win now and just change it?
girls are cheering, but Kayo's disappointed. Hamada walks up to him afterwards, grabbing him by his jacket, seeing that he hates little dudes like him, and storms off. Like they both not the same age, they the same height, they the same size, but you get what I'm trying to say. That's when Sadaru remembers he ended up making the same mistake that he made 18 years ago.
Exactly, bro.
Slowly, history's repeating itself. After school, Kayo starts to leave, and Sadaru ends up catching up to her, talking about the race. He's like, I guess Hamada was too fast for me after all. She just ignores him and keeps on walking. He asks her when her birthday is, of course, in order to figure out when X day is, but she ignores him once again. He asks her what the problem is, and that's when she stops, saying that he promised that he wouldn't lie to her anymore. Sadaru's shocked at the fact that she realized and apologizes, saying he felt like today should have been Hamada's day, and she's like, it's whatever. We're both fakes and liars. She walks off, and Hiro ends up walking out.
Lying about what? Losing the race? Can't be that serious. Why she? What?
He asked Sadaru to walk home with him since they boys whatever, but Sadaru runs off saying he forgot something, when he actually ended up running into the teacher's lounge. Here, he finds his teacher's student record, and slowly he starts to open it when a hand lands on his shoulder. It's his teacher. He asks Fitz about Kayo, and Sadaru says he just wants to know what her birthday was. Teach points out that they've been becoming friends recently, but Sadaru says he hasn't had much luck. He had told Kayo his birthday and asked her about hers, but she wouldn't tell him. After finding her record, the teacher laughs a little bit, saying that now it all makes sense. When he shows Sadaru the book, it turns out both Kayo and Sadaru have the same birthday. Teach points out that Kayo's a bit shy, so when she realized that they both had the same birthday, it was probably difficult for her to bring that up. Now that we know that her birthday's on the 2nd and that she was killed in March, that means that her X day is on March 1st. The teacher tells Sadaru to celebrate their birthdays together since she'll be too shy to celebrate it with them, and he agrees, running off. But before he leaves, Teach calls out one last thing, saying it's too bad about the race today. Make sure when you do something, you give it your all. He noticed that he didn't give it his all too. He noticed he gave up and let Hamada win. Sadaru not as slick as he thought. He makes his way to the park, and Kayo's not standing there.
Nobody ever. Y'all win in everything you do. Don't ever give in or be less of something for somebody else, unless in the future it makes you ahead of the competition. Like, for example, there's times, and I know we're kind of getting off track, but there's times where I would have to kind of not say something and correct my boss just because I don't want his ego to go down and him to have a dislike towards me. Read the 48 Laws of Power. It talks about it then. But like I said, don't ever lessen yourself for somebody else just because you want them to feel good. Always put yourself first. Don't ever put nobody's feelings before yours.
There by the tree like she normally is. Instead, Yuki's there. This is his first time seeing him in who knows how long, ever since he got locked up.
Oh, yeah. That dude right there, Yuki, he's the one that got framed for the girl's murder. The two thing, and he was sentenced to life in prison in the other timeline.
Satoru's original timeline, he's still on death row. They go back to Yuki's crib and he's messing around with his paper airplane, just chatting.
Dang, that was
It's
him?
his first time seeing him, and
Look,
who
that's
knows
him
how
when he was
long,
younger?
ever since he got locked up. And in Satoru's original
That's him now.
timeline, he's still on death row. They go
Hey,
back to
GG
Yuki's
to the
crib and he's
chat.
messing around with his paper airplane, just chatting. Satoru ends up asking if he knows Kayo, and he says that he actually does. Since she's usually alone in the park and that's where Yuki spends his afternoons, he's talked with her a number of times. Now, Satoru can even tell that Yuki's trying his best to not use any slang and use only formal Japanese with him, since 1, it's easier for kids to understand, and 2, it makes him more credible and mature, or at least it seems that way. Yuki's pops calls him out to go eat dinner, but it's only like 4 p.m. Satoru's like, ain't it a little bit early for dinner? But turns out he has to wake up at 4 a.m. in order to start working at his dad's catering service. This info is brand new to Satoru, since he had always thought he was unemployed since he was at the park in the afternoon all day, every day. But before going out to eat, Yuki reaches over to show some type of magazine that he got recently, when Satoru looks over and sees some R-rated magazines on his shelf. Some little, you know what I mean? He covers it up instantly, embarrassed that he saw them. But Satoru's like, it's whatever, it doesn't really bother me. Eventually, the clock hits 5, so it's about time for Satoru to leave. And on his way home, he still can't believe that Yuki would kill anyone. He's 100% sure that he was framed. Even to this day, in 2006, in his original timeline, Yuki pleads innocent to every charge. He never pled guilty. Satoru's determined to prevent the crimes from happening, so there's nothing to pin on Yuki in the first place. He heads over to Kayo's house, but turns out she's still not home. He walks around back and notices some gloves on the floor. Out by the shed, he sees Kayo's backpack all along the floor with her stuff all everywhere. As he runs up, opens the shed, and there she is.
No.
Don't look at me, she says.
Okay.
He starts taking off his jacket to give to her, since staying like this is gonna make her sick, but she screams for him to stay away. Out of nowhere, her mother walks up, asking why she's all cooped up by herself again. Satoru looks at her, clenching his fist, but she just shoves him out the way. She picks Kayo up by the arm and starts dragging her back to the house. Satoru stops her, asking how Kayo got these bruises, and she leans in real close, pats Kayo's head, and tells her to let him know. Without even turning to look at him, she says 2 simple words, "I fell." And as they walk back,
What is going on in this house? What shenanigans? What type of parents do that to their daughter? Oh my goodness. This is horrible. Nah, this girl is in a toxic environment. She needs to get out. And she needs to get out now, because she is gonna die. Like she eventually does. Man, Saruto, do something. You can't do nothing about it. Get something. I don't know. I don't know.
inside,
I don't know how he's gonna do it.
Satoru's speechless. Like she just said earlier today,
I fell.
both fakes and liars.
Oh,
Inside,
dang,
she's
sucks.
shoving Kayo's face in some ice water,
No.
trying her best to get rid of these bruises by Monday so she doesn't get in trouble with CPS. While her boyfriend's just sitting there, letting it all happen, sitting there drinking his drink, watching TV, being a bum. The next day in class, Kayo shows up late, and Satoru notices a bruise on the back of her neck. He ends up talking with the teacher about Kayo always being late on Mondays. Teacher asks Satoru if he knows why, and he says it's because her mom beats her on Saturdays. Turns out the teacher already knew. The only reason they haven't done something is because the mom keeps avoiding CPS every time they come to the house. Each and every time, nobody was home, so they couldn't go in and investigate. The teacher says that whenever they can catch Kayo's mom at home, they'll be able to arrest her and free Kayo from her. But if that does happen, then she won't be able to stay here. She'll have to go to another city, to another school, somewhere else. Satoru says he doesn't care as long as she's okay. And as he's leaving, he's realized that they made plenty of preparations already, but if they don't take care of it by X day, it'll be too late. When Satoru gets back to the classroom, he reaches inside of his desk and realizes that everybody's lunch money is gone. Earlier, he had collected it from everybody in the class in order to give to the school, but now he's lost them. He stands up, tells the teacher, and everybody's shocked. Everybody starts going crazy. What? Normally I would just skip over something like this. Like, it don't really seem like it mattered. But this little girl right here, she stands up and says, I don't think he lost the money. I think somebody stole him. like Kayo, probably. She's poor and would steal it for herself anyways.
What?
Everybody starts getting riled up. I don't know what caused her to say some bull like that, but being the 10-year-olds that everybody are, they start believing it. They're like, yeah, that makes sense. She probably did steal it. With no evidence, no proof, just some random word. And Satoru's just standing there, pissed. She recommends that they check everybody's bag, so everybody starts to look. As people are looking through their own
I'm calling it now. She about to get framed. She about to get framed. Watch.
bags and looking through their neighbors' bags, this little girl is egging it on and on and on. She's like, come on, we're gonna find the thief. We're gonna find the thief. Make sure to check your neighbor's bag as well. And Satoru already knows what's going on. Kids are talking crazy about Kayo, saying it's gotta be her because she's poor, and they all start making fun of her. All of a sudden, Kayo stands up, saying she found the lunch money. Everybody looks over in shock, like, of course it was her. And old girl saying, like, see, I was right. It was her the whole time.
Framed.
We ain't never seen her this damn happy, bro. That shit is crazy. But Satoru's not putting up with that. He slams his hand on the table, telling her to shut her little up. He like, who cares if she poor, if she's starving, whatever. Kayo would never steal anything. In his mind, he's thinking it was probably her the whole time who planted it in Kayo's bag for whatever reason. The homie Kenya speaks up too, saying that anybody could have taken it from Satoru's desk and put it wherever they wanted. He always keep a cool head and is like 2 steps ahead of everybody. I rocks with bro heavy. But she gets all flustered and shit. Now that she knows she's been caught, she realized, oh, shit, I ain't playing this well. But the teacher brings everything back down to zero, pointing out that Kayo was on duty with Satoru today, so there's nothing weird with having the lunch money. It was both of their jobs. Now, everybody settles down and gets back to lunch. I showed this whole thing in the first place just to point out how much Kayo has to go through. Not even just at home, she's constantly dealing with the repercussions of being in this terrible home environment, on top of being ostracized at school. Satoru, having his grown 29-year-old mentality, realizes all of this and is even more compelled to save her from what she's going through. Later that day, towards the end of school, Kayo and Satoru are both doing their little obligations on class duty. They taking out the trash, and Kayo thanks him for standing up for her earlier. She explains that back in the 3rd grade, Misato, who was the girl who pointed fingers and tried to frame Kayo, used to make fun of her for her pencils. Kayo got sick of it.
Man, I hate people like that, bruh. Back in the day, I had bullies, man. And I remember my cousin had to come and take care of one of the bullies. He came and he went ahead and he confronted one of the bullies. They never bullied me again. But you see in Kayo's case, she don't got nobody around her but Saruto, where he did stand up for her, but she probably go through this every single day. Like, now I see why she want to go on the beach and just get away from everybody. I'm thinking, when that cutscene came up, I'm thinking, man, she doesn't have parents. Like, she don't got a reason to live. Like, what's going on? But shoot, I'll do the same thing if I was her. I wouldn't want to be by anybody when I'm living an everyday life like this. And then bro, what? And then like something happens to me on March 1st. Yeah, nah. I'm glad she has a good heart though, cause she like one with that heart. She has a heart that's childlike, and the Bible says that the childlike be like the children that like have a childlike type of personality, because you'll make it into heaven like that. You feel me? But man, I like Kayo. I really do. She don't get treated right though. She don't get treated. Free Kayo,
so
man.
she
Free
threw
Kayo.
Misato's fancy mechanical
CPS.
pencil right out the window. And ever since then, she's hated her and had it out to make Kayo's life as shitty as possible. But Kayo don't really care too much because she said the feeling is mutual. She doesn't like her neither. Though there was this one time where Misato invited Kayo to a Christmas party. She thought maybe it was somehow her attempt at making amends, but it turns out she just wanted to show off her big Christmas tree, which Kayo was actually pretty jealous of. Satoru stops, remembering something. He asks Kayo if they want to go see one today, a Christmas tree. Next thing we see, they're walking up the hill. He explains he used to ski and bobsled on this hill all the time.
So what day is it at
Kayo's
this time?
pretty tired from going up the hill. She doesn't have the greatest stamina, but he grabs her hand, offering to help her on her way up. As they're on their way up, these red foxes run all up on them and start running in circles. He points out that he used to see them from time to time, but in his head, he's thinking that 18 years ago, he saw these red foxes, he was alone. When he went to school the next day and told everybody about it, nobody believed him. But now, he's got this memory to share. As they continue walking, they finally reach their destination, where we get to see this tree, which Satoru calls the Christmas tree because of all the stars shining in between the branches. He tells her, let's come back in the summer to see this tree again, fortifying his own mission to keep her alive. Ominously, back in the classroom, we see somebody talking to the teacher, with that somebody being Kenya. We fast forward.
Who's Kenya? You go. Kenya's the other dude, the smart kid. Wait, what? He's in the classroom talking to the teacher at night.
Ominously, back in the classroom, we see somebody talking to the teacher.
At night? Nah, that's suspicious. I knew Kenya had something going on. Kenya probably 53 years old, but he in the body of a 5th grader. I don't know. But see, he got something going on.
Being Kenya. We fast forward to February 25th.
Okay,
4 days
do we
until
have?
X Day,
Yeah, 4
which is
days,
on March 1st.
Yep.
That morning, he's having breakfast with his moms when he tells her that he wants to go out on Saturday. She's like, you going on a date, aren't you? And he's like, no, I just want to go to the science center with some friends. And mom's is like, oh, all right, I would have gave you a little extra pocket money if it was a date. And he's thinking, damn, for real? What kind of mom I got? I'm 10 years old. What I'm going on dates for? But after a second of silence, she's like, it is a date, isn't it? And Satoru folds. He tells her it's with Kayo from his class, who's gonna be here at his birthday party. She says it's fine, just to be careful while they out, as per usual, as they finish eating. Later that day, at the end of class, Satoru walks up on the gang, asks them if they're trying to go to the science center on Saturday, and then Kayo's gonna be coming too. Osamu's like, oh, bet, but Kazu pinches him on the leg. Kenya starts saying that he can't cause he got something to do that day and he can't miss out on it, and everybody starts giving their own excuse as to why they can't go. Even Osamu, who was just down to go like 10 seconds ago. They all walk off, telling him that if he's gonna be going with Kayo, then it's probably better if they go alone, just the two of them. When Kayo walks up to him right after, she asks if anything's wrong, but he's like, nah, it's all good, it's whatever. She brings up the plans for Saturday, saying that she wants to go, but her mom told her to go straight home on Saturdays. Satoru says that he really wants to go with her, so he'll talk to her mom for the both of them, and hopefully
it was the dad. Watch, it was the boyfriend that killed her.
Work things out. At the same time, the teacher calls Kenya over to the teacher's lounge for a minute. Over at Kayo's place, Satoru's trying to talk to Kayo's mom, but she's not going. She says she won't allow two kids to go out together, but Satoru says they not going just to play games. They're gonna be getting to learn things. They're gonna be at the science center, not the playground, but still, she's not going. She says that Saturdays are the day that Kayo helps her around the house. He's like, help you? What kind of help does she do? But she's like, I don't gotta answer you. You a little kid. You don't wanna be up in my business. Satoru knows that Saturdays are really the days that she beats her, which is why she's defending this so hard. He's asking why she's got such a problem with Kayo going out, and she brings up she can list a number of reasons as to why it's not a good idea. Firstly, if something were to happen, who would take responsibility? It's just two kids, so neither one could be responsible. It fall back on the parents who let them go in the first place. Now, she's really starting to piss Satoru off. One, because the only thing she's worried about is her own repercussions. If she's gonna have to take responsibility for stuff that happens, she's not even worried about her safety. She's not worried about none of that. She asked Satoru why he even wants to take, quote unquote, this gloomy girl out anyways. She's no fun to be around. Mind you, she's talking about her own daughter here. That's f***ed up. Satoru was like, who cares about any of that? I just want to save my friend. And she's like, save? Save her from what? And this where Satoru knows he messed up by hinting at her abuse. She asks Kayo how she feels, if she wants to go with him on Saturday instead of helping out around the house. We could tell that she's scared. She's not even looking up. She's not saying a word. But fighting through all of that emotion, she nods her head yes. She does want to go. Kayo's mom instantly gets pissed. We can see damn near the veins in her eyes as she raises her hand, screaming out to get their heads out of the gutter, calling them perverted kids. She swings her arm towards Kayo when Sachiko, Satoru's mom, stops her just in time. She's like,
smack her too. Smack her while you at it, cause she need to get a butt kick, boy. We don't play with that. We don't play with none of that around here. This mom gotta get a butt kick. Go ahead, pull her hair and kick her on the ground. And that ain't even right, bro. Why she hitting her daughter for doing what she want to do? Like, just let her go. And I know you being protective, but it's for the wrong reasons right now. Like, she got the wrong reasons because she want to beat on her kid.
Really shouldn't be calling little kids perverted. That's a little f***ed up. It's a little weak. And she's like, oh, well, it's none of your business. But since it's literally her kid, Sachiko says that it really is her business. She kind of tells her off, saying that as parents, we should be supportive of our kids who are motivated about something and want to learn. But Kayo's mom just tells her to get inside. But right before she closes the door, Satoru says that he'll see her on Saturday, and it's a promise. As he's talking with his mom on the way back home, she's like, "Oh, did I interrupt?" And he's like, "Nah, you good. I appreciate you. Big gangster." But Satoru's mom points out that Kayo wears surprisingly nice clothes, especially for what her mom seems like. It really just looks like her mom cares a bunch about Kayo's appearance. Judging from their sole interaction right there, Sachiko can tell exactly what's going on inside the house. The next thing we see is Saturday, February 27th, and they're at the Science Center. It looks like Kayo's mom hasn't laid a hand on her these past few days, so that makes Satoru pretty happy. Ever since their little interaction with Sachiko, she's been a little more hesitant. They're messing around inside the Science Center, looking at different things, when Satoru offers to check out the planetarium, but she's like, nah, I'm cool off it, since she already got her fill of stars the other night at the Christmas tree. But as she turns around, Satoru gets this weird feeling, like he's seen this before. He tells her he's gonna run off to the bathroom right quick, and as he's in there, he's splashing water on his face trying to freshen himself up. He's wondering why he's getting deja vu. He did come to the Science Center pretty often, but he never went with Kayo before. He always went alone. As he walks out, he calls out to her as she's looking at the display. But as he sees her, he gets that feeling of deja vu once again. She turns to him, saying thanks for inviting her. She asks him if he knew that she also liked this place. Satoru's completely stunned, wondering if he did know that deep down. Is that the reason he chose this place to take her specifically? She asks him, do aspiring comic artists tend to like places like this too? And Satoru realizes 18 years back, he had this exact same conversation. He had came here by himself and ran into Kayo, who had also come here by herself. He's starting to wonder if he's just repeating everything from the past. He's been going out of his way to
I got it. He's repeating the forward. He's going forward, backwards. He's going forward, backwards. So he's reliving things in his life from the forward, from the future, in his past.
try and change the future, but everything's falling right back into place just how it did all those years ago. He's been following the same path, which ultimately might end with the same result. But quickly he shakes all of those thoughts off, thinking that he's already changed a bunch of things with his actions. He's confident that he's doing things right. As they're walking, she turns around, telling Satoru that she's glad she mustered up the courage, which remember is the word Yuki, to come to the science center with them, regardless of what her mom thinks. And Satoru says he's glad as well. All of a sudden, his boys all show up and join them too on their little trip throughout the science center. Satoru realizes that some things may overlap, but overall,
Kenya's still suspicious, Kenya. I'm having my eye on Kenya.
Things are different. 18 years ago, he was here alone, but now he's here with everybody. The next day we see is Monday, February 29th, the last day before X Day. For the first time, Kayo shows up on a Monday on time with no signs of any abuse. In class, Satoru is thinking about tomorrow. Tomorrow is the day that she's supposed to be murdered, March 1st. He's thinking that now the actual battle begins. He's walking her home that night and he tells her that he'll pick her up in the morning so they can walk to school together. All of a sudden, Kayo's mom walks up from whatever she be doing. I don't know where she be at. Satoru bows his head, says good evening, keeping things as respectful and polite as possible as he begins to head his own way, telling her that he'll be there in the morning to pick her up. As he runs by, Kayo's mom just looks at him. The next morning, he leaves the house earlier than normal to go see Kayo. As he rings the doorbell, Kayo's mom is there, with Kayo right beside her. Today's the day where she's supposed to disappear, but he says things are different now. He grabs her hand and begins to head to school. Throughout school, the only thing he's thinking about are how circumstances are different now than they were 18 years ago. She was targeted because she was always alone and had no friends, but now they're always together and she's got good people around her. After school, Satoru asks her if she wants to go to the kids center, but she says she actually wants to go home early today. Satoru nudges her on like, come on, just come with me. And she reluctantly agrees. He's doing whatever he can to make sure she's not alone all day. At the kids center, they've been chilling for a while, and after a game of checkers, Kayo says she really wants to go home now. He takes her home as they walk past the tree that Kayo always used to stand by alone, as he holds her hand even tighter. That night, we see a couple of things go on in the background. It begins to snow, as it did in the past, which was able to cover her dead body after she disappeared. We see Yuki sitting alone when his father comes to pick him up and take him home. And last of all, we see Kayo's mom walking alone in the city. As they make it back to Kayo's place, she's in the doorway about to head back inside, and he says extremely loudly, like damn near screaming, I'll be here tomorrow morning to pick you up. I'll see you tomorrow. He said it as loud as he could so that Kayo, her mother, and anybody else who might be listening nearby would know that she wouldn't be left alone. That night, Satoru couldn't even sleep. He was just staring at his clock as X Day's almost over. In the middle of the night, he gets up and heads out straight over to Kayo's house. As the clock passes 12, he feels a huge sense of relief. Things are finally different. Later in the morning, he's up and out the door before it even hits 6 a.m. He couldn't get a wink of sleep last night. He's instantly heading over to Kayo's to go and pick her up. He wants to see her as soon as possible. Inside the house, we see the water running, but she's just there in good health, washing her face. After class, the gang's all together and Satoru's asking if they're all ready to go for his birthday party today. He has some money and wants to go to the store together to get some stuff for the party, but the teacher calls the two of them, Satoru and Kayo, over to help him with something real quick. He's like, damn man, why it gotta be today of all days? It's my fucking birthday. But Kayo's like, it's probably because they messed up with the lunch the other day. This is some type of punishment. They go back to the classroom to see that the boys wasn't even waiting for him. Everybody's gone. He like, damn, that's that's up. Satoru goes to the store with Kayo, just the two of them, to buy ingredients for the party, where he spends exactly 5,000 yen, which is all of the money that his mom had given him to go shop with. He remembers that 18 years ago, he did the exact same thing. He was so excited about his birthday that he used up all of the money. He and his mom made a bunch of sandwiches, but they made them alone and ate them all by themselves. But this time, things are different. As they head inside, confetti poppers go off. They start going crazy as everybody's there waiting for the two of them to wish them both a happy birthday. Turns out the gang had planned this all in secret, mainly Kayo, which is why he was talking to the teacher, heading to the teacher's lounge.
Okay, now it all makes sense. Kenny, you off the hook, but I still got my eye on you.
And it's also the reason why the teacher gave Kayo and Satoru a little bit of extra work to do after school. He let them know that it was Kayo's birthday too, and Satoru's mom helped put everything together. But during the celebration, Kayo starts to get upset, apologizing to Satoru for not finishing his present on time. Turns out that she was working on something, which is why she wanted to go home so bad yesterday, but spending all that time with Satoru meant she couldn't finish. She starts tearing up, but he's like, it's all good, it's okay. You can give me the present tomorrow. Now, the real party starts, as they all start to make sandwiches together. Satoru points out how fun it was making them in a big group, and unlike 18 years ago, they finished every single sandwich in one day. Both Kayo and Satoru received a good amount of presents, and Satoru gave her a present personally, a pair of mittens, since he noticed that she didn't have any. After the party, Satoru walks her home, and he's freezing because he forgot his jacket. She gives him her scarf right before she heads inside, wrapping it around his neck, saying thank you for the day, and she's glad that they became friends along with everybody else. She says that she'll give him a present tomorrow. It's a promise. And he's like, okay, it's a promise. I'll see you tomorrow. As he walks home, that walk turns into a run, as he's just ecstatic at the fact that he was able to change history. He gets home, but everybody else is already gone. He just passes out from pure relief and exhaustion of the past 2 days, as he just slept like a log. But in the morning, turns out he overslept and is late to his class. As he runs in, the teacher's taking attendance, and he's like, oh, Satoru, you're here. You're not late. You're not absent. Let me go ahead and change it here. So that just makes it only Kayo today, huh? And Satoru's eyes spread wide open in disbelief. The day after their birthday, Kayo didn't show up to school. Matter of fact, she never came back to school. Their promise was never fulfilled. Once again, make sure y'all follow on the Instagram. Make sure y'all subscribe. We really trying to hit 50K. And for the Patreon, y'all know what time it is. CEO Poverty, Massive.
Yo, no way he just ended it like that. Dog, Sensei. You gonna leave us on the cliffhanger like that? Oh, no, that ain't even right. Alright. Well, for the next video, y'all, we're gonna react to that right now. So I'm gonna see y'all there. Hit that sub button, like the video, comment your thoughts, and I'm gonna see y'all at that video. Peace.